Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Good morning, everyone. So, for those of you who aren't reading Discord, we were doing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I'm thinking about doing that off stream, just because my computer is having trouble handling streaming and playing that game at the same time. We've had like audio lag, we've had like game crashes. It's been pretty rough. So for S, I've decided to make it more enjoyable for me and you guys that we'd play something different that started with an S. What am I talking about in terms of S? Well, we're doing an ABC challenge. So basically, we're playing through the alphabet. We started with A with Alien Isolation. We've gone through the alphabet all the way to S now, which is, as you can see, going to be Stanley Parable. So, a little bit of history with Stanley Parable. I actually got this game quite a while ago. I've been hearing really good things about it for a long time, and I just never got around to playing it. I actually got it as I think I got it in a raffle from Frightened Toast back in the day when he was a streamer, and I guess he had an extra code for it or whatnot, and I won, picked it up. So yeah, so that's where we are now. I know nothing about this game. I think it's puzzly. It looks like it's in an office building. I understand that there might be some comedic elements to it, but Yo Trell, what's up? Hey Eugen. So yeah, maybe comedic, maybe I think I heard that the guy who played Wheatley from Portal was in Stanley Parable, but I could be mistaken about that. I also don't know the length of the game. I don't know if it's a longer game or if it's a shorter game. I'm hoping it's like medium, but I assume if it's a puzzle game, it'll probably be a little bit on the lower side. Trell, finally a game that I'm playing that you can watch. How about that? Good luck getting 100% on this. Well, I know one of the achievements is like getting like playing Stanley Parable and then not playing it again for 5 years or something like that. So yeah, I won't be getting 100% on this game. My friend just recently got that. That's the only reason I know about it. He tried for it for forever. I guess tried is the wrong word. Yeah, but that's all I know. So I wasn't like playing this to 100% it, or like, you know, I'm not trying to strategically play games that are either short or easy to 100% to bloat my numbers. I kind of just been going with the flow. I still can't believe we've played 25 games to completion, and 13 of those games have been 100%ed. That's pretty crazy. What, 25 games is badass? Yeah. Alright, so is this mouse or keyboard? Keyboard, mouse. Guess it's keyboard, mouse. Extras. Achievement. Achievement unlocked. Enable. What? That's great. I just got an achievement for that. Saves enabled. I'm gonna have to consult Trell on this one. Achievement unlocked. Wait, is that appearing in the stream? No, it's not. I kind of want to look at... I think that's not an actual achievement. I think it's just popping up. Oh wait, maybe it is. Yeah, we got it. This is an achievement. Okay, so one of the achievements is it's impossible to get to this achievement. Interesting. Yo? Toast! My man. Thank you for that sub. So, Toast, I don't know if you know this or not, but longest overdue sub in history. Yeah, man. Well, thank you. So, we are doing a the beardening, which is basically this majestic thing is being put on the chopping block. Well, depending on what people decide. So, donations, subs, and bits get the ability to choose its fate. Subscriptions 500 points that you can put toward save or shave. Which would you like? You can see up at the top left what we've got so far. My weekend's been interesting. It's been quick. We're saving that bad boy? Alright, alright. Let me add to that then. Give me one sec. Points. Properties. So we're gonna raise that up to 5. Wait, where is it? Oh yeah, 513. Done. Damn, you're blind, man. That sucks. No, as in a blind playthrough. Look at the tag. How are you? Last time I've not had a beard was like, I don't remember the last time I didn't have a beard. So saves, like, what does that mean? Like, having that enabled or not? I'm gonna have achievement enabled, but what does saves enabled or disabled mean? Does that mean, like, if I don't have it enabled, that it won't save my progress? I don't know. I turned it on. It was originally off, so... I mean, how many trolls do you get daily? Because that was definitely sarcasm. No, I know. I was just playing straight man for it. How are you, da homie? How are you? Welcome. But I do get a lot of people trying to spoil stuff. So I always try and play the straight man at first until I figure out what's going on. I do not look forward to playing Undertale for that reason. Although that's coming. Alright, so if Trell, you don't know what that means, then I'm just gonna start, I think. Is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is loading. Is it becoming chat, Eugen?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
It's Pretzel
Stanley
Day.
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Interesting.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I don't want to get... Okay, I can crouch. I can't click buttons. I follow you. Must have taken a long time ago. I'm a changed man now. Well, welcome back. Okay. So, clicking things hasn't done anything. Yeah, the homie, I forget when you might have followed. Alright, so it told me to leave. Oh, the door's shut.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome
Wasn't the door
fell under
open?
his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me.
Yeah, let's
Nothing
wait.
will break me.
Nothing.
In here I can be happy forever. I
Forever.
will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years
Hours?
gone by? He no
Days?
longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end.
The clock's just ticking
He will
normal.
be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Here it comes. Wait, the door opened. Maybe I ran out of time. Alright, I'll raise it up a little bit. Thank you, Trout. Let's see. And I'll raise me up more too. Is that too loud? Alright, there's nobody in there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. It was Fred and Toast. I think it was because they were both red.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
I
he had simply
hate
missed a memo.
Mondays.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Who farted? How's that sound? Was that better? Alright, so my door closed. So yeah, the door closed within a certain amount of time, so I got closed in. I like work just I just hate my boss. And then what does that say? I don't know. Put you back. Okay, I'm too loud. Thank you. Sometimes when I turn up the game volume, it makes my audio too quiet. So like the game, so I can't see outside. Game audio seems better. Oh, that computer just shut off. What does this one say? Awaiting input. Input received. Let's see if there's any other computers that I can click on. Aha. Okay, so clicking works. Let's enjoy this majestic view for a second. No, I'm just kidding. Looks like we're going to be going out that way. Ooh. That person was left in a hurry. Can we open any doors? I hate Mondays. This is very
When
portable.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I entered the door on my right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. You don't tell me what to do, narrator.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Alright, what's over here?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
What's that say?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Alright, I'm leaving.
At last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
First open door on my left. What about over here?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off cargo lift, $5,000. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. It will cause death. Oh, great.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I didn't mean to. Alright. Oh, we're back here.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
The end. Oh, this is. These computers are all. What's going on? All the computers are now glitching. Input received. Oh, that might be like something overall that we do. Interesting. Alright, Trell.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's try left now.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Without consulting whiteboard manager. Rip Franz. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Alright, see you, Trell. Thanks for being here. No problem, dude. Quarterly post review. The death sport portion in the primary review schedule. But I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to a teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net, some sort of child trap, work harder, hard worker. Interesting. Space between the teenagers. Throw something in the ideas bin. No more bins, trash cans, renaming of the idea bin, firing of me. Huh. Solving interpersonal conflict. Is there a... Can I click a button to continue this presentation? Oh! Something happened. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no expectation of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. Huh. Alright. Broom closet. Whoa! Broom closet opens. And there's a broom in it.
Stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Interesting. But what if there is something here?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet.
I don't believe you, narrator. You sure? There's duct tape in here. That's actually really interesting. I could use that.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the
He
broom
just keeps
closet.
shaming me.
He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Right.
As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Interesting.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yep. What's in here?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
1, 2, B4.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking. Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This
is
voice
so
was a
meta.
part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please,
Push that button.
It's all I want.
Are we restarting
I want my
again?
apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Didn't work.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
This is really interesting.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what
This
crazy
is
people look
strange.
like. And in that
Did we beat
moment,
it?
She thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Turned and ran. Did we beat it?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
We're
decided to
back.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
So we
memo.
restarted. Interesting. Username access.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's go back this way.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No, let's go down. There's so many different routes. It's crazy.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Okay.
Let's see, we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it
Double
now.
door?
This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh. Huh. Generator. Whoa.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here.
Wow.
This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just...
Is this a spoiler?
Oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Oh my
This time,
gosh.
suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
Wow. So I guess it's best to follow his directions. Otherwise we get into situations like
All
that.
of his co-workers
Whoa.
were gone. What could it
Did
mean?
that door open?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Huh.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then.
This is so
It's an
crazy.
adventure. Come, Stanley.
Oh.
Let's find the story.
Huh. Oh my. Oh boy. All the doors are open.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Wait. This is really
All of
funny.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Somebody keeps spilling coffee everywhere. Now there's no doors.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. Yep. 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 420 blaze it. Go back to the beginning.
Aha!
Huh.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Isn't this a big loop? What? Okay.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
This is confusing. Whoa.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Stanley?
Not
Do you know
really.
what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations!
We
I know
won.
you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Yeah. We
Oh,
won.
no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Yo.
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
That's not cool.
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
This is crazy. Wait. Now he's like,
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
nice. Yeah. That's called railroading. Wait, that's new. So he's playing solitaire.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction.
It goes
Onward,
around the
Stanley,
box.
to destiny.
To destiny.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own
following the
relative
line.
experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Ba, ba. He's blocking the stairs so he can't go down. I can't follow that. This is loud. I can't go up here either. Oh my god. line. This music is great. Monthly ledgers, annual reviews. I'm gonna turn departmental accounts. Whoa. What? You guys see that? What? That's amazing. Oh, that's so cool. There's 2 lines. Oh wow. Oh, that's trippy. Alright, I'm turned around now. Which way am I going? This door closed. So it's either down there or over here. Or this way. Wait, so question. Consultation reports. 432. Whoa, look at all those. Financial records. Okay, so it is a loop. Okay, cool. That's interesting. So we could skip that part. That's
Cut
crazy.
the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. I'm going to take a picture of this just in case. Cause nope, not selfie. Alright. So that's the fern. Alright, let's look at it from the side. It's probably not going to be anything, but knowing this game, this is amazing. I gotta say. Okay. Studied it. We got a
Wait,
loop.
we're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Okay. So let's go left now. We've already discovered like so many alternate routes. It's really interesting. Whoa, we're back here?
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you...
Does
Well,
that say
I can't take
pirate?
this anymore, to hell with it.
It's not private, it's
Restart.
pirate. Restart again. Wait. Okay, it's not lining up with my time. What does that say? I think that's the amount. Is that the amount of times we push it? I think so. No.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring,
Okay.
mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Wow. It's so interesting. Like, this path is set. Yeah. I think that we should have rabbits hopping around in the story. I want a rabbit. Give me a rabbit. It's so crazy. Alright, let's see if we can get a rabbit just by willing it into existence.
No, not you again.
The
Stanley,
line's sneaking
I'd also
in.
like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just
Agreed.
don't acknowledge it. and we should
Wait,
be fine.
but I like the monitors. I want to click them. This line going away, huh? All right.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision.
Nice.
From here, the story is in our control. How important, we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay.
I'll go this way.
So I know that each door has to lead somewhere.
Yep.
Which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that
Okay.
in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Yeehaw! All right, let's go. Wait, is this credits? Is that credits? The confusion ending.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me
Deviate from the mainstream,
that's
end up
what
in the
this
monitor
is?
room, narrator
It's all one
restarts.
giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Find a bookstore, get bored,
So
and
now,
leave.
according to the
Narrator
schedule, I
resets
restart
the game.
again.
Narrator's
Then what?
gone
Am I
after a long
just
time
supposed to
Stanley
forget?
games.
Well, what if I
Wait,
don't
where
want
are
to
we?
forget? My mind goes blank
Oh, we're
simply
here.
because it's written here on this,
Find the confusion
this
ending
thing,
schedule.
wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to
Stanley
decide?
attempts to play the story
Why
but is
don't I get
prevented,
a say
unable
in
to
all
go
of
anywhere
this?
or do anything.
Is
The
it
game
really-
restarts on its own.
No,
Find the
it
line
can't
again,
be.
begin following the
I
line.
don't want it to be.
Replica of
I
the
don't want
office
the
has
game
begun
to
to
keep
deteriorate.
restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be
Interesting.
trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in
guess.
the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if
I don't know what just happened there.
all of his co-workers were gone,
Are we restarted?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Are we actually restarted this time? Looks like it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art.
Yeah,
But
let's keep
eager
going.
to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Going in here and where we
Stanley was so
died.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay. Danger everywhere. Danger. Door didn't close. Now it did. Two B3.
Now listen
Red door
carefully,
or
this
blue
is
door?
important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
There's the blue door.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Huh.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
Really interesting.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback.
All right.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
What do you guys think? Does this add to our experience? What do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know, but this is a group thing. All right, so we were over there. He added this. So this is in the middle of where we were, because there's the other platform. I guess we could go with 5.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something.
Oh, damn.
Where do these flashes of
Sorry,
inspiration
Toast.
come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one.
Oh,
Let's
yeah?
take a look.
All right. The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. Good old Neil, Skid, Nicho, Nacho, Vola. Ho, ho, ho. Did you know that 21.3%? Oh, Stanley 427. This is you. How long does it take you to get the correct door? Compete against others. In total, look at all the... Error, friends list is empty. Skipped the intro sequence. Only the worst 3% of players choose the blue door. A dead rat is the one I'm just below. 7 hours. We haven't been playing this for 7 hours. Alright, let's go through the story again then.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
Now, Toast.
Again, honest answers, please.
We'll go with your one.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and that would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
No,
Perfect.
I wouldn't.
Let me boot it up.
Awesome.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
Okay.
Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Is it the Stanley Parable? What?
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you
can't
always
jump.
desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it
I can't
ever
even
be
dig.
enough?
I got an
I'll
achievement
say
for this though.
I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic
This is amazing.
purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Okay. Where? Oh, right here.
This will go here. No, here. And then...
He's making a dirt hut.
Let's see, what does it need?
this.
Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes.
He's gonna put a door.
It's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
I like that there's a mountain in the background and it fades due to distance. Alright, let's go in.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only
Gotta
be
love
better.
Minecraft.
Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond,
Yes.
everything. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Oh. This is crazy. Wait, can we... They've remixed the Minecraft song. Oh, there's an ocean there. We still can't jump.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Nope. This is interesting. Guys, we're playing Minecraft.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I
You know what? I just realized something.
feel utterly irrelevant.
I gotta check something. Hopefully... Does the game list us as playing the Stanley Parable? Or is it still saying Rise of the Tomb Raider or Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Still saying Rise of the Tomb. Okay, it is. Cool, cool, cool. I just wanted to check real quick. Oh,
I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You trapped in a glass
we're in
box,
Portal now.
no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
This is great.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity.
All right, so there's going to be this boy, and he falls into his nightmares.
Ratings, and I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made.
Yo, this guy's super bitter.
Goodbye, Stanley.
Bye.
Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Beta. Work in progress. Oop. I fell. Nice. $423. 24. Cool. Alright, we're getting back to our room. 427. I like the click-clacking noise. Interesting. This is very weird. Is that a map? Is that just a blue thing? What happened?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion.
This is so
That's
interesting.
who I am.
This is like
That is what I mean to this world.
he gets so angry when I don't follow the
Yes, I'll be
story.
back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Now, are we going to be at the beginning again? Yup.
All of his his co-workers were... Wait, oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No.
What?
No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Quality content right here.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
$417, huh? Alright. Well, where is 417? Getting closer. Ah. 3, 4.
Oh, great.
5,
Now, go
6,
click a few times on door
7,
437.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright. So 437.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Four, 1, 5, huh?
Now, back to door number 437.
This is the most meta game I have ever played.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
I can't do that. Oh.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
416.
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Oh boy. Wait, where is it now? It's over here. Got this, we got this.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt
We got
amazing. Oh, you...
Let's see if it actually popped on here. It did. Cool. All right. This game is crazy.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
All right,
just to
I have
admire
one more
it.
thing to try.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door
So
on
let's
his left.
not jump off and see what happens, and then we'll start following the plot.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her, huh? Okay.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who's been waiting?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone? Well, that wasn't supposed
I didn't
to be
think
a
that would
choice.
work.
How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. As it comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person
Look at
named
that tie.
Stephen has a choice.
It's a
He
huge
could spend
tie.
years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his
Oh my
house.
god.
Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a
Fish.
person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
A back sack and crack. Practice.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside.
Thanks.
At this time, your instructor will guide
Infield
you in an
exercise.
exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun
More
to
charts.
deteriorate
Stop,
as a
stop,
result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay, so is it the doors? I like how clicking is the keyboard that we are apparently supposed to be sitting at. Alright, so we going back.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly
So we
halfway
can't go that
through the
way.
story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
What if I just stayed on here? All right. So is it gonna have me go back to the room? Yeah, looks like it.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
It's just so bizarre.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
All right, I got it.
When
I
Stanley came to a
understand.
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right, got it.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction.
Oh,
Perhaps we're not
that's
too
not
late.
good. You said left, right? That's left, right? All right, let's try left. Oh
It's
boy.
ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that you, my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is
Everything
now
is
incorrect?
okay.
How can I go back to that?
Just read
I
that.
can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever.
Danger everywhere.
Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Wait, what?
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He
Oh, does he?
understands that if I say to do something, there's a
don't think he
damn good
does.
reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh.
I'm a full-grown
story.
adult, you asshole.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked
Are we
so
getting
hard on
spoilers
it.
here?
I tried so hard. Just behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly
Would-
and always putting the story first.
Right.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
All right, let's try it.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, so this is definitely a different version because we can't open the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase,
And we can't go
Stanley walked
downstairs.
upstairs to his boss's
It's
office.
taking away choices. This is new. This looks like Resident Evil.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this.
Panda with a gun
until
to
he
its
saw
head.
The door with a
That's-
voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage
I'm the
to
most
face the
expensive
unknown.
boss.
He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
I am the walrus cuckoo cuckoo. We did it.
Stanley spoke the code.
I
Night
am the
Shark
walrus.
115.
Night
He
Shark
spoke it into
115.
the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. Night Shark
I'm sorry, is
115.
there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The
I
kind
did it,
of
bro.
respect
I
Stanley
did it.
shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you
that.
come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
Oh,
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
interesting. What is Stanley gonna do?
Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
The end.
I need you to walk through the door.
Thank you for playing Stanley Parable.
Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
Credits?
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something.
GG? How many times have we beaten this game now?
No. I need this. The story.
I'm
needs
counting
it.
that as a win.
So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to
2011,
decide.
jeez.
Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
All right. All right, let's try this again.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's see what happens if we just stand still. Alright, it doesn't do that. What it did before. Alright, let's see if our... Hey, Thorin.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer.
We've already
there.
like ended the game like 6 times or so, I think. Alright, let's see if we're on... Okay, we're on the right track again. Alright. Because we can open the broom closet. We've already
Coming to
been
a
down.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wonder what happens if we actually answered the phone. We'll have to check that out. Executive bathroom. Oh, nice. We need 2 more. This looks different too. Interesting.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845. So, if we pretend we don't know that. Oh, look at the... What was that? Chiante?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to
2845.
input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5.
This is great. What does that say?
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Oh, cool. The fireplace went down. Wait. 2, 8, 4, 5. Got it. I did it. Oh, this door opened for me this whole time? Oh, look, there's a camera up there. I didn't see that. Okay. I guess we're going down now. We're actually following the story, guys.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
All right.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape? Mind control facility.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Well, that's an escape.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward, and willingly confront his death.
Yes. I did not die.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
No. We can get out of this. We can get out of this.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
That's very weird. Well, that didn't happen though. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Whoa, is this heaven?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance,
What?
death becomes
Look at
meaningless,
this.
making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already
Stanley's
dead
computer.
from the moment he hit
Alright,
start?
Yeah, look, this is the whole thing. And then this is the two choices. The two doors, set of two open doors, is the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. So yeah, it's a series of choices. This is so cool. Nature paintings. Alright. Filing cabinets. Office computers. Is there another computer we can, there's the computer of ours. The office. Button sounds. This is like a test chamber, like a beta room. We got credits here. What's over here? Apparently uses the same physics engine as Dark Souls. Interesting. Maintenance room. Early version. Alright, so we got that way. What's over here? The office. We gotta look for that fern. Boss's office. Different versions of it. Interesting. Office clock. It's like a museum for the game. Employee lounge, underground, an early version of the underground portion of the game. Mind control facility and escape. Nice. Narration outtakes. Kevin Brighting.
Does that sound plausible to you?
These are clips from early game takes. Interesting. Freedom ending. Alright, so that's what we're shooting for, I guess. monitor room elevator. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Interesting. So there's a countdown ending. Countdown room. Exit. We don't want to go that way yet. The room is getting destroyed. Alright, what we got over here? HD Remix. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley? The point of the HD Remix is to win. Isn't this the same game? Same image? Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? Is to lose. Warzone. In a battlefield fighting aliens. The game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. Saying to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus some people interpret it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Interesting. An early version of the lounge. The apartment timer. Cargo lift. Okay, so that's like the one we fell to our death on. Yeah, makes sense. So this was like a going up to the phone, and instead we went right that one time. Flow of hallways flowing. Okay, so we discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Obey, disobey, lounge, and then maintenance to the staircase. Other entrance would be hidden depending on how you entered. Yep. Oh, there's a vent. One doorway to maintenance in the lounge. To confusion ending. Okay, so we did that one. Huh. Meeting room. Learning about the game. Game is now paused. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Options. Zending. I don't know what Zending is. Fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Huh. I'm getting a little bit lost now. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of this game. This is the first one, released May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator. This is weird. All right. Can we hit these buttons? No. Alright. Exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
Huh. That's interesting. Hello?
This is the...
Interesting. Alright.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
I like that the dialogue's sometimes a little different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well,
This was not the correct way to
there
the
was a
meeting
reference
room,
to
and
a
Stanley
vent.
knew it perfectly well.
So
Perhaps he
I
wanted to
kind
stop
of
by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
wanted to check that out.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yeah, let's do it.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Right, okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody.
Oh man,
he began
what is
wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
Yeah, the
What could
narrations
its
was a little
purpose be?
slightly different.
In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Oh, I was
But of
close.
course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Alright, let's see what happens if we go straight now, I guess.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Alright, whose mind are we controlling?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley
This is
thought to himself.
the
Did he
same
have the
room
strength
from
to
earlier,
find
except we were
out?
up top there. So we've spoiled ourselves on this. Alright, so there's cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
You're not supposed to be in here yet.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley
Fired.
really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Pirate.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The
Facility
heart of
power.
the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Mind control
happy
status
or sad
offline.
or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Interesting. What's up top there? And what are these buttons? 1, 2. So there's more buttons up there. I think that's 4. Alright, where's 3? That's 5. we're missing 3. Huh. Oh wait, there's 3. 3. Four. And 5. Nothing. Alright. Well, now we know where all the buttons are, at least. It's a big room.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Let's turn on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they
Yes.
kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Push 1. I did push 1.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich.
Button hint.
I hate to see it go.
Activate
I'm sure whatever
light
I come up with on the
blue
next go
22.
around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so
You
much.
have 3 attempts remaining.
You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley.
Please re-enter passcode.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler.
Code is...
That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to death.
Piece of information,
You're only
for
still
example.
playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're
Passcode.
powerless. To see you made humble.
I can't see pass.
This is not a challenge.
I can't see
It's
what
a
it is.
tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first.
Goodbye,
so
employee
you
427.
can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to strike. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Interesting. Wow.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
So if we try and skip through, he does this.
Feeling soothed and
Oh,
rejuvenated,
yeah.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
We'll have to figure out what that what we have to push in order to make things work next, if we go that route.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
It's interesting that we have to replay this over and over again.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
427.
Was this the only reason he was
That's
happy
me
with
right
his
there.
boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the
I
controls
feel like we're being
once
mind
and
controlled
for all.
right now.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
What if I don't?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the
I'm
new
gonna be my
path
own boss,
before
and then I
him.
end up getting
This
another
was
job
exactly
because
the
money is a
way,
thing. Yeah.
right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Do we beat it? We beat it. The end is never the end. Alright, so we got an achievement for beating it. Complete the Stanley Parable in under 4 minutes and 22 seconds, not including load times. I don't know what 888888 is either.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Awaiting
No matter
input.
how hard Stanley looked,
So
he
that-
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
We've already clicked that though.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a
There
single
we go.
difference. Nor did it advance the story in any way.
Alright, so we need to find one more computer like that, and then something probably will happen.
When Stanley came to a set
Alright,
of
let's
two
try
open
the
doors, this was not
answering
the
the
correct way to
phone.
the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley
a
took
flash.
the first open door on his left.
Alright, so let's see what happens.
Stanley was so
when-
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
We answer the phone.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking
For her.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
Alright, let's see what happens.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife? I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press T on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press 8.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
Bathroom there?
Fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
7 to watch
And so
TV.
he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped out from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press 8 to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something
Walter
was
Mitty.
almost too wonderful to be.
I love that movie. It's a great movie. M to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
Yeah, this is going to turn into our office.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
A game with a baby?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
J.
But there is no answer.
Oh,
how could
my
there
wife's
possibly
gone.
be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
That painting's pictured too. Go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Not gonna do it. Nope.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please die.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Huh. Yes! We got him. We found something. Nice! We can push buttons. Once this whatever stops. You get to push all the buttons. Do we have to push all of them? What are they saying? Oh, they're Alright, so what's... What do we gotta do? Those are all the same. Push the something. Audio, let's do closed captioning. Okay, resume. Full captions. So what do you guys think? What do we do? You think the only way is to reset? Okay. Begin the game again. All right, so there's an achievement for getting yeah. So I guess now we can just go to heaven whenever we want.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting.
Alright.
Was it a painting or a photo?
So the only
He could no longer
last
recall.
thing that I can
When
think
Stanley
of to
came
do
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
is maybe try
Yet
figuring
there
out
was
what the
not a
code
single
is
person here
for the mind
either.
control machine.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all.
Come on.
I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room.
Yeah, the
Please
never-ending ending.
Take your time.
All right. So I'll be right back. I'm going to I gotta get a delivery from the front door, and then I'll be back to figure out what to do next. All right, I'm back. So there's complete Stanley Parable in 4 minutes and 22 seconds. I wonder if that's possible doing it the correct way. I feel like we did it as fast as possible before. There's also a quit the game and start it again. So let's try that. See what happens. Galactic Cafe. Yep, there it is. And then I don't know what the 88888888 is achievement.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs
So
to his boss's
the last
office.
thing that I can think of to do is try and control the mind control device.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication. Shocked, unbelief, who orchestrated this? What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not
You know
have
what?
known
888888.
was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible
that's an
truth
achievement?
that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned
Yep.
it an
All right,
extra
cool.
secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Alright, let's see if we can speedrun this, I guess. And then there's an impossible achievement. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it might be like working the mind control device correctly.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
We
Facility.
already escaped. Thanks, no one, by the way, for
The lights
advising us
rose on an
earlier for
enormous
having.
room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Alright. See if we can get this in record time.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Going up.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
I feel like
Walking, eating,
there's
working.
something to
All of
this.
it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold...
Let's save this.
reality of his past began to sink in. Stanley decided that this machinery...
Alright, let's see if this takes too long.
blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay.
So there's 19 endings
Where
apparently.
had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Alright, so we've done
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon
we've done
his
the
skin,
museum
the feeling of liberation.
where we
immense
get crushed to
possibility
death.
of
We've
renewed
gotten to
life
heaven, as you
before
saw.
him. This
We
was exactly
answered
the
the
way,
phone call
right now,
and got
that
trapped
things
back
were
in the
meant to
office.
happen.
We unplugged the phone,
And Stanley was happy.
and that went through a whole series of things. We did the two endings here with the countdown and the not countdown. I was just trying to get the 422. We, rather than answering the phone, we jumped down and then went and did the playtesting of the game. So that's 7. What else have we done? Oh, we went down the stairs and died, and Marilla found us. Been out the window to the left here.
All of his co-workers were
Over
gone.
here?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, we did the 4:30 ending too, if that was an ending. Let's see what else we can do. See, I see this. So I know we can get on this desk here. Alright, so the heaven thing's opened up again. Alright. Yeah, so we got the one where we were in Minecraft, which was funny. So you're talking about this window here?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Huh. Maybe there's another one that's close by that we can do. We can get on this desk. Or no, we can't. Maybe we can get in there. We closed the door. I didn't know you could close doors. Huh. Ah. Doesn't look like I can... Because you can't jump. Oh wait, can I crouch? Yeah. What?
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Do not advise jumping on rolling chairs in real life. Are you sick of this game yet? No.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Oh, wait. So we took the blue door over and over again in the, in the other path. So maybe we should take the red door. I forgot about that. So I guess we begin the game again.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Oh yeah,
He
we
had
did
to
that
make a
one.
decision. What if a crucial
we've
outcome
done this
fell under
before.
his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
Alright, let's begin the game again. Let's see what happens when we hit yes.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oops.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
All right. So let's try. Whoa.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What? The whiteboard ending. So I guess this is This is an ending?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh, interesting.
When Stanley came to a set of two
All
open
right,
doors,
let's
this
go.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open
I
door on
like that
his
there's
left.
crouching, but we don't really utilize it in this game. So we took that lift
Stanley
back
was so
there.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
Alright, so
here.
we're going down there,
I'm not sure
but we're not going to do the blue door this time. We'll
I
do the red
realize that
one like he
investing in your
says.
trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
The
Give me a
timing is
chance.
pretty good, too.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Can do something as simple as locking yourself in your office to endings that require multiple restarts. Yeah.
Oh, thank God
I
you
think,
are willing to listen to me. Do you
I
see
did
that
the
I
ending
really
that
have wanted
required
you to
multiple
be happy all this time?
restarts already.
The problem is all these
It was one of the
choices.
first ones I
the
did
two of
by
us always
accident.
trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we
would.
stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Whoa. What's that? We got lights everywhere. Okay.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we
Cool.
just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel... No, wait. Where are you going?
Whoa. Is that Link?
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Interesting.
No! Oh, thank God. You live. No. No, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that? My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be ready? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over?
Interesting.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
I think there's more to that ending. The blue one again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to get. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Alright, let's try and go
Stanley knew it perfectly
fast.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So I think the only way to get the fast achievement is by doing
Stanley
one of
was
these
so bad at following
alternate
directions.
ones.
It's incredible he
Like,
wasn't
it
5
seems
years
like
ago.
that main room was super long to get.
Look, Stanley, I think
curious
perhaps
if
we've
we can
gotten
get
off
down
on the
there.
wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Alright, loading.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful. No, wait. Where are you going?
Let's see.
If we just stay right here. Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Let's see if...
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Alright, so he's gonna tell us to go through the door.
Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, there. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Oh, so pretty. Alright, so... what now? Wow. Whoa. There's no stars anymore. And it reset? Yeah, okay. Huh. Alright. So, I think that's the main endings. I wonder how we can... So we got Commitment, which is play Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. Complete Stanley Parable in under 4 minutes. There was that baby game. It said to play it for 4 hours straight. I'm not gonna do that right now, but maybe we'll do that in the future. Let's see what the speedrun strat is. So speed run Stanley Parable. There really are 2 steps. Go 3 times through the boss's room until the narrator immediately opens the hidden passage for you. Restart the game until you directly see the room with the 2-door. That's it.
All of his co-workers
So you restart the game multiple times.
All of his co-workers.
Interesting. Huh. That's really cool. What? Oh no. Ah.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing. All of
So interesting. All right, see you later, no one.
all of his all of his just a step through this door, all of his co-workers.
There's a phone ringing.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Interesting.
All of his
Oh my gosh, look at all the boxes.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is it everywhere? Yep.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to
I want to see if I can get out of the office.
all of his co-workers were gone.
Also, apparently if you reset this multiple times,
All of his
you'll get an ending where it's just
the
straight.
meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to
He
his
boarded up
boss's
the
office.
broom closet.
The moment
Ah. Nice. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. What now? Oh. Huh. You are now leaving. Escape pod bay, floor 760. Four, 3, 2. Oh, this is the other room that we were just in, but it's a different color. Escape pod. There's so many endings to this game. It looks exactly the same. Five, 7. I think it's been 457 or 757. So if I have 8, cool. So like each floor is exactly the same as the last one. Interesting. Escape pod launch bay. Okay. So we got out, I guess.
All of his co-workers were gone. What?
Alright, so...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single... Here's the door, just go. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So... we have to go 3 times through the boss's room until the narrator immediately opens the hidden passage for you. I don't know what that means. But we're gonna try
When
it.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to
I love
his
that that's
boss's
boarded
office.
up.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. And turning the room over looking for clues that might unravel the situation, until at last he discovered a keypad behind the boss's desk. But alas, no code. For this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Alright, so let's try that again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I think we just have to go to the room 3 times?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean, he wondered. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. passageway.
Alright, so we did that. Go through the secret door and down the elevator.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Secrets, the keypad, Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Okay, alright.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now? But again,
Reset the game repeatedly.
it had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long.
Alright. So,
All of his
I think I
co-workers
get
were
it.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Alright, now we reset.
I can't. All of his... All of his...
It skips us ahead.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Interesting.
he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
The broom
Stanley
closet is
decided
still
to go
boarded
up to
up.
his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It's already open.
Here's the door, just go.
Nice.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with televisions.
Alright. So I think we can do it now.
Now the monitors jump to life. They're happy or sad or reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too
I think this is a really cool concept of a game. It's very meta,
Stanley
very
really been
neat.
under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his
It's definitely an
emotions had been
interesting game.
manipulated
I like it.
to accept it blindly?
I wish there was more of the like basic story, but I like
He
all this extra stuff.
His own life in
So,
someone
it's-
else's
it's
control?
forgivable.
Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working.
I'm sad.
All of it monitored
I wonder
and
if there
commanded
is a
from
mind
this
control
very
ending,
place.
like where I
And
can
as the
take
cold
it
reality
over.
of his past began to sink in,
I'll have to
Stanley
look into
decided that blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet,
It's a short game.
even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I'm trying to.
Stanley
Speed
felt the
run.
cool breeze
We got
on
it.
his skin, the feeling of liberation,
Cool.
the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
All right. Well, I guess that's S then.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need.
What a cool game. I liked it. We did not finish all the achievements, but we do have a few more to get that I think we could get. So we'll have to try that at some point. And there's probably a few endings that we didn't find. But I don't know. That was a cool. I think that's probably a good place to end it, right? On that note. So the next game we're going to be playing is called The Talus Principle. It's a puzzle game that has to do with apparently it's kind of like Myst, so like a point and click adventure. So we're gonna start that probably tomorrow morning, if not later on tonight. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Bane, for being here. Hope everyone who was watching enjoyed. We'll see you again. Bye.